And wherever we may be, let's see if we can just start to calm ourselves down by taking a nice deep breath. And again, no right or wrong, but let's see if we can inhale through the nose and draw the breath down to where our belly expands. And when it feels good, we can slowly exhale through the mouth or through the nose. If you'd like, you're welcome to close your eyes. I'm going to do that, at least for now. And if the breath felt good, feel free to continue with that. In through the nose and out through the mouth at your own pace. We're in no rush. No need to judge ourselves. And if we notice that we're judging what's happening right now, we may be thinking, am I doing this right? You may be thinking, this isn't going to work. You may be thinking, what the fuck am I doing here right now? Fine. Lovely. Let's just notice the judgment. Let's just notice the thought. And then gently and kindly let the thought pass. And then we can bring our attention back with an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. Again, perfection is not the goal. If you're sitting or lying down, I'd encourage maybe see if you can really give all of your weight to the chair as I'm doing, or if you're lying in bed, see if you can really give all of your weight to the pillow and the bed. We're still breathing. If you don't want to do more of that mindful in and out, then just breathe naturally. Nice thing is that our bodies are expertly designed to breathe, whether we're paying attention or not. But again, if you notice that your breath is really like rapid or shallow, meaning that the breath is really like only traveling to the upper parts of your chest, maybe see if you can draw the breath further down toward the belly. But at the same time, we don't want to become too fixated on right or wrong. But right now, we can just direct our attention to seeing how much we can allow ourselves, and right now our bodies, to relax, sinking into the chair, sinking into the bed or the couch or wherever you may be. And as we do this, we could do a brief body scan and maybe notice if you can sense any tension or stress throughout the body. And if you do, maybe bring some gentle movement, flexibility to that area. I know for me, typically, I carry more tension in my neck and my shoulders. So, wherever we either feel tension or, again, we don't have to be as intentional. Our bodies are often much more wise than our minds. So even just giving our bodies permission to move in whatever way feels natural or meaningful or helpful to whatever area of your body right now. Still breathing. Again, you may notice as you're listening to me, and I realize you're trying very hard. I appreciate you, but even if you're trying really hard to listen to my voice and to follow my guidance, you still may become distracted. Maybe you hear a noise in the room next door. Maybe you're thinking about something that happened at work earlier today, or maybe you're thinking about the flight that you have to get up early for to make your match in time this weekend. If you notice your thoughts or your attention is drifting anywhere else but my voice or focusing on your breath, totally fine. No judgment, no criticism. We can simply just notice, hey, I'm watching my attention be somewhere else or drift somewhere else. Just simply notice where it is and then gently redirect our attention back to another inhale and exhale. And if you're into the breathing right now, maybe see with every exhale, every breath out, see if you can release whatever stress or tension or friction or anxiety that you may be carrying within. We all experience these things from time to time, especially during a pandemic. Experience these things much more. We don't need to judge ourselves for noticing the tension or the anxiety or the stress. Practice like this just helps us become more comfortable being who we are, being who we actually are in the present moment. Breathing in and breathing out at our own pace, knowing that the breath is the anchor that connects us at all times to the present moment. And by doing this, we become more comfortable, or at least we become more familiar with simply just being. Feels kind of cliche for a meditation teacher to share something like this, but it's cliche for a good reason. We're called human beings for a reason. We're not called human doings. But yet in our culture, whether a typical Western capitalist society, or even in our pursuit to succeed in pro wrestling, we always feel this pressure to do more, to do the next thing, to do better, to reach higher, to get closer to the main event, to make more money, to start performing out of state, etc. We're in this race to do more, thinking another tweet or another session at the gym is going to help us get closer. And yeah, while those things may help us get closer, the ways in which we're engaging may not always be setting us up for long-term sustainable success. But I promise you, and I don't promise many things, but I promise you that a practice like this is more than likely going to be more helpful in setting yourself up for longer-term, more sustainable success. Because a practice like this, where we're inhaling and exhaling, and just giving ourselves permission to simply be and not do, developing this skill and this comfortability within our own skin and within our own minds and within our own bodies, becoming more intimately connected with, more present to, more comfortable with, more at peace with ourselves as we are. Not who we are with our gimmick name and with our thousands or tens or hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers. Not who we are with the line or not at the merch table. Not who we are with where we are or not on the card, or where we are in our journey with our skill set and our network, etc. All that's lovely, but none of that is who we actually are. Who we are is the present moment focus and presence in a practice like this, as we're paying attention to our inhales and our exhales. I'd argue that that's a more honest, raw, authentic version of what we call the self. And the more we can develop this relationship, I would argue, the better shot we have at being a successful pro wrestler or a successful anything, but most generally, a successful human being. So we'll just go for another minute or so. If something's working for you, follow that. If you're stretching in a certain way, if you're breathing in a certain way, feels like you're grounding yourself and staying connected to the present moment, then that may work for you. Stick with that. Helpful to know that you're not alone in this practice. Whether you're listening live at the time of the recording or listening at any time in the future. You're connected to a much larger pro wrestling community, and even more intimately, a pro wrestling community that's interested and curious about ways in which we can improve our mental health and well-being as well. Breathing in and breathing out. Paying attention to the present moment. Realizing more and more with each breath and with each practice that the present moment is really all we've got. Because whatever you were going through 10 minutes ago or 10 years ago, and wherever your life may take you 10 days from now, or 500 days from now, you'll always be experiencing it in the present moment. So the more comfortable or tolerant we can become of the present moment, the more we can be open and willing and skillful to work with the present moment, whatever it may be, to become more flexible with the present moment, whatever it may be. Just like we learn to be open-minded and flexible and collaborative with our wrestling opponents, with the crowd, with a canceled flight, for instance. We too can learn how to dance more joyfully or more effectively with the present moment, no matter the circumstances, no matter where we are, with whom, how we're feeling, our physical state, our emotional state, and so on. The goal isn't necessarily to always be happy. That's not realistic. And that's okay. The goal is to become more tolerant and more flexible and skillful at accepting whatever it is we may be experiencing in the present moment. Learning to work with what we got instead of fighting against what is. So as we start to come to a close, I think it's helpful to allow ourselves time to say thank you to ourselves, to offer some gratitude to yourself right now for taking the time, and perhaps for you taking the risk of trying something new or unique, or maybe still for some, like questionable or woo-woo or hippy-dippy or whatever it may be. And that's certainly me not judging your perception of a practice like this. I'm just happy that you're open-minded enough to even just listen or to watch what we're doing right now. But again, I want to encourage you to thank yourself for engaging in this practice. For I believe engaging in a practice like this in general is a really healthy, productive, loving use of your time and way in which you've chosen to relate to yourself or connect with yourself as you're doing this. And so as we start to bring ourselves back to the room, you may want to create some more movement. I like rubbing my hands together, Maybe giving my neck a gentle stretch or just bringing more movement and blood flow throughout the body. If your eyes are closed, no rush, but you can gently start to open them. Bring yourself back to the room. As I'm reorienting my eyes to Zoom and my laptop. And maybe we can take one more final deep inhale and exhale together. And as Aaron suggests with people that he often works with, maybe see if you can naturally bring a gentle or big smile to your face. As fucking weird or awkward as that may feel. But often when we smile, that sets off a chain of reaction emotionally and mentally, physically, that signals we can feel a little bit better than maybe we had been prior to the smile. So this concludes formally our guided meditation. I don't know how long that went. I think it went longer than I expected, but I think I needed it.